Hi there, this is Sifu Slim coming to you live from Durango, Colorado. Look at this beautiful location. There's the light gauge train track down below, and there's the beautiful river that runs through the area and takes a turn. And so that means we are below the mountains, which you can see off in the distance. And so we've had a fair amount of snow just in the last 3 days, and more coming tomorrow, which is the day I'm supposed to be leaving. So we'll see if I can get out of here, because if a big storm comes, I'm not going to ride on these abandoned highways that don't have towns for 50, 80 miles in between. Very rural area when I go from Durango to Breckenridge. So today the message is about preparing and rehabilitating for skiing and from skiing. So I'm going to share with you some ideas to prepare yourself and then decrease inflammation and allow the recovery process to begin. Who wants to be laid up when they've spent that time and energy and money to come out and enjoy the ski season? So first thing you do is you get in shape. Why not stay in shape year round? But if you didn't stay in shape year round, at least do it for a few months before you come out here. Here's your lovely yoga mat, and this is one that fits me. I'm almost 6'3", and this is a nice consistency, and you can buy these for not very much, sometimes under $25, and maybe even at a thrift store you can find them, because sometimes people buy them and don't use them. And there's my elastic band. For some of my hip exercises I use this, and it's also good for stretching. And this is a really strong one. This isn't the wimpy one. This is one that's really strong. I mean, 2 Arnold Schwarzeneggers could pull on this, and this thing would have a good chance of being resilient to that pull. So get in shape beforehand. And this summer, when I was living in Germany, lots of running up and down stairs in this building where I lived, which had 17 floors. So that was awesome. So running up is good. Running down is the ski action, because you're coming down that mountain and you're landing. You're popping and landing, you're smooth, you're stopping. All those things put that downward pressure on the legs and on the back, etc. And so my thighs from yesterday, even though I'm really fit at age 56, I feel it the day after. So today I'm going to take a day off from skiing. Why not? Why would I want to go up there and not do well? Because yesterday at the midday when I skied from 8 to 12 and went pretty hard on it, smooth but hard, had 1 wipeout, so that's pretty good when I'm going hard. For me, only 1 wipeout. The answer is to take the day off the next day, allow your body to recuperate. So what are some things to allow your body to recuperate? So I'm going to show you my handy dandy stick. Now this is a stick that comes up about armpit length, a little bit longer might even be better, about shoulder length, and I'm going to put a towel over one end of it, and then right in the crux of anything, I can use a snowbank if it's hard enough, the bottom. I can come back here and press against it. And so that's taking what the massage therapist, the physical therapist, the chiropractor, all those healers do. Take the elbow or the thumb and you press it into the trigger point. So amazing therapy. Even better would be before you go up skiing, which is what I did. Do your whole exercise routine before, 40 minutes, an hour. Get everything really ready to go. And so that when you hit the slopes, you're already warmed up. Do golfers, do skiers, do swimmers, do mountain climbers, do boxers, do runners. Do they warm up before they get out there and do their activity? You bet they do. All athletes I know of warm up before they get going. So this stick, which is great for warming up, is also great for therapy. So just like the elbow and the massage therapist, you can press in with this, and I will soon have some videos up on my website, because that's my profession, where you would pay a little bit of money, keep me alive, and you would get the video of what I've been doing since 1986. Thank goodness somebody taught me this way back then. Some very near and dear people, friends of mine in Sacramento, who taught me this, and I'm so grateful they did, because this has given me health, happiness, and wellness and functionality for so many years. And I think if I didn't have that stick and the trick, I'd be in the chiropractor's office because of all the sports I do and all the computer work, sitting or standing that I do. I'd be in there much more frequently. And I already pay enough money on the chiropractor. I don't need to be in there more than I already am. And if you don't have that stick, you can also use a ski pole. Same thing. Press it into a base of a tree, the trunk of a tree. Press it into some steps, a wall, whatever you have. If I do it indoors on drywall, you know, big padding, a couple of towels on the bottom, and then one towel up on top. And so don't injure anything you're pressing in. But this pressure, you'll figure out how to do it. But if you need some help, check out my videos, which are coming soon. Then, when you get to the slopes, you want to prevent. So how do you prevent? Well, you don't want inflammation of the cranium, do you? And the cerebral cortex. So wear a helmet. And helmets are good. They've got a thing on the back where you can click in your goggles and then wear your helmet so you don't whack your head. You know, you're still going to get a concussion probably if you really hit hard against this, but at least this is going to give you some good protection. So I strongly encourage people to get a helmet and use that when you're skiing. And the hockey players all use them nowadays, and they did in the 70s, and they got a lot more injuries in the 70s. Just one elbow to the back of the head or one shot into the boards, and they're really getting damage to their cranium. So do that. So skiing is a very intense sport. You know, the better you are, the more smooth you make it and the more efficient you make it, but oftentimes the better you are, the harder you go. So this gentleman right here, probably skiing very hard. I'm saying gentleman, we don't know for sure it's a gentleman, but it appears to be a gentleman. And southwest Colorado, near where I am, you prepare. And so these young athletes, this person appears to be maybe 30s. These still young compared to me. These young athletes treat their bodies hopefully well, and that gives them a nice long career. And it's cold out here, so it shows you Mesa Verde in the summer or in a warmer month, and that's a warmer month. So there it's a little bit easier because your body's going to be warm, and that's what the muscles like. They like to be warm most of the time. So you've got to get your clothing appropriate. You don't want to sweat, of course, so you have to figure out the layering of your clothing, and you have to remember, how cold was I last time? Like yesterday when I started skiing, it was 5 below. So I knew it was sunny and 5 below. You factor all that in. Is there wind? How hard am I going to be going? Am I going to be on the sunny side or shade or mixed sun and shade? You figure out all those things. And then you dress appropriately. So warmth is really good. Now, the day after and the day of, another great thing to do is take a bath in Epsom salts. You can't beat. I mean, the price, when my grandmother took these, probably starting back in the 1920s, or even before. I think he was born in 1904 and 1906, two different grandmothers. You know, maybe when they were a kid, their parents broke out the Epsom salts bath. So the price, I don't know how much it cost way back in the 1920s, a nickel for a bag of this or 10 cents. But now it's only $6 at CVS, and so there's the CVS Epsom salts, and it initiates the uptake of magnesium sulfate into our system. You can see on the label magnesium sulfate. So you don't want to overdo this. So read this, watch a few YouTube videos on magnesium and Epsom salts bath. You do not want to take too much of this in your bath, and you don't want to do it too frequently. But based on your muscle and based on how your system's working, you'll probably figure it out. Use a little circumspection, use your noggin, and see how things go. Hydration. So I've got some herbal tea. I love jars. Jars you can, put hot water in, and there's no leaching. And I use this. This is the dark Morello cherry jar from Trader Joe's. And in the bottom there, you can see some stuff floating around possibly. Can you see that? Can you see that? Can you see that? And I'll show you what I've got in there besides tea. I've got some cinnamon. You want Ceylon cinnamon, or Ceylon. This is Saigon cinnamon from Costco. It's not the same thing, but I'm using this and I'm getting good results from it. You also want to have some pepper in there. That helps the uptake into your system. So grind some pepper in there. And I've also got some turmeric in there. And here's my little handy dandy turmeric powder, that's a jar that a very dear friend made for me many moons ago, and I'm still rolling with that. And you can put in some ginger. You can put in some herbs, from cooking herbs from the kitchen. There's some parsley flakes. Bayonne, New Jersey. I'm from New Jersey. I just saw the back of this. Bayonne, New Jersey. Interesting. Historically a pretty rough area, Bayonne. Here's some oregano leaves. Herbs around the kitchen are fine. Here's some gingerbread chai. So I roll with all these things when I'm traveling around. And if you want a little glucose, some glycogen into your muscles, you can put a little honey in there. No problem with that. So there's some good things. Oh, here's some basil leaves. Put some of them in there. Here's some ground basil leaves. So I encourage you to try that. So herbs around the kitchen. The more healthful you can purchase them, the better. Also into your stew or just as a drink, heat up some organic bone broth. Here's from Trader Joe's some organic bone broth. And your muscles even like this bone broth. Your whole system, not just your bones, will love this bone broth. So read up on that. Wonderful stuff. And it's even got some cider vinegar in it. It's got, this particular batch has chicken bones, onions, carrots, celery, spices, cider vinegar, rosemary extract, which they say is an antioxidant. So good for them on that. So good, Trader Joe's and Pacific Foods. They're Pacific Foods. Historically, as far as I know, a pretty good company, Pacific Foods. So if you find anything else about Pacific Foods I should know about, let me know by putting that in the comments. And please subscribe and tell us what you think about this. And so there's some things for recovery, getting your inflammation down, getting your system back working. And then the one other thing that is the number one thing for recovery of the body, bones and muscles and tendons and ligaments, the entire recovery of that physiology, especially the muscles. Take a guess what it is. I'm going to give you 4 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Have you figured it out? I'm guessing you haven't figured it out yet. I've asked some world-class athletes about this, and they did not know. Number one way to alleviate muscle fatigue and enable muscle recovery is, amazingly enough, to use the muscles. It's not rest. Rest is important in the healing process and the cellular rebuilding process, but it's not the number one. The number one is to get those muscles moving again. That doesn't mean to go out and do a bunch of squats really hard the next day, but you could do some squats. So I'm going to take it down now, and I'll show you what I'm up to using the ski poles. So come down and just do some holding of positions. You can balance with the ski poles if you want. Practice your moves. Here's that turn to the left. I'm here, I'm kicking my knee into the other one, and then a turn to the other way. Boom. Boom. And you can play with those turns. You can get your joints working by doing some nice kicks right here. That's not bad. I mean, I was a kid and I did a lot of punting and kicking, and I feel pretty good at age 56 that I can still do that. So there we go. And keep those muscles moving. So there you have it. And here's somebody who really knows what they're doing. you get on your cycle and you take your cycle out and you move your muscles around. That will help your recovery. Take your Epsom salts bath, take a nice jacuzzi, get a massage with your partner, and keep everything moving, keep hydrated, drink your bone broth, try the herbal tea that you can make yourself and add on another tea bag of some flavor that you like, and keep moving and take a nap, and then have a good sleep that night, and eat well. And for those who think that skiing is a place for partying, you've got your Maspi Passerina wine, and this is a white wine, and it's a melange of a few different wines from Italian winery I know, up in Lompo, California, a varietal. And so you can have a little bit of wine. Make sure you're hydrated before and after, but have a little wine and enjoy life. If you don't have any problems with alcohol, have a little wine and enjoy life. I'm Sifu Slim. Please comment, please like, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And I'm a coach, so if you need some online coaching or in-person coaching or your group or even corporate wellness, give me an email, send me an email, and we will connect. Until then, Sifu Slim at sifuslim.com, wishing you all the best in all that you do from Durango, Colorado.